My name is Sherry McKeon, and this is Cross Potent, a place where magical people meet. This is going to be your Farming by the Moon report for May 2019, and I will start you out with letting you know where all the planets are. The Sun is in Taurus, Mercury is in Aries, Venus is in Aries, Mars is in Gemini, Jupiter's in Sag, which means Mars and Jupiter are opposite each other right now. We have Saturn in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, Pluto in Capricorn, and Neptune is in Pisces. The three most powerful ones are Jupiter's in Sag, its home sign, Saturn is in Capricorn, its home sign, and we have Neptune in Pisces, its home sign. Later in the month, on the 15th, we have on the 15th of the month we have Venus moving into Taurus, which is also its home sign, so that's later on in the month. But the first thing I'm going to give you an overview on is basically the phases of the month. They're going to start out with a new moon on the 4th. The first quarter ends, second quarter begins on the 12th, the full moon on the 18th, and then the very final quarter begins on the 26th. So this cycle that we're looking at for this month, around this new moon is when you want to begin planting your below ground seeds like carrots, things that grow below ground. Towards the next quarter, you want to think about planting specifically above ground crops like lettuce and things like that. Then after this full moon is when you would do your pruning, and after this last quarter leading up to the next new moon, you want to start picking and storing your produce and your crops. That would be like your general overview of the whole month. I'll go through the whole month day by day, or sign by moon, as the moon goes through its phases through the month. I'll go through that. We start out the month with the moon in Aries, coming up to the new moon. So this is a lessening of the light. It's called waning down to a very balsamic moon. This typically is a sign of pest control, mowing. Towards this phase of the cycle, you want to think about your fertilizing and digging your ground, preparing the ground. With this part of the cycle also, you would want to start thinking about your pollinator habitat or pollinator housing. That is your beehives, bird houses for your pollinators, bugs like ladybugs if you have to use those on your crops. But don't forget about bats, are also a pollinator, especially in orchards. As we get to Taurus at the new moon, the cycle is beginning for its little monthly round around the zodiac. This is time to seed your lawn. Of course, I mentioned plant your below ground crops like carrots, radishes. But with this Taurus coming into this Gemini, we also have Mercury moving into Taurus here. Good time to market, go to markets, green markets, do your networking in a local area. As this comes up to Wednesday, there's going to be a little window of what we call Blessed Day. Wednesday's ruled by Mercury. This moon will be in the sign of Gemini, ruled by Mercury, in the morning, and then it will go into Cancer later in the day. There will be a small window of opportunity when those line up with each other. Past that, change over into Cancer later in the week. Cancer is good for purchasing animals, incubating eggs, generally associated with family, home, property, antiques, things of history. There's also going to be a very long void of course where the moon doesn't make aspects till it changes over into Leo for 13 hours. This Friday might seem like a long Friday and not so energetic with the weekend coming like a Friday usually feels. Getting into the Leo, it's going to be more of the children, music, games. Leo energy is a nice time to look at photo albums, take pictures, design a business card for your farm. Also, some people design crafts or jewelry, things that are flashy like that. Under this Leo influence, we're coming up to the end of the first quarter, beginning of the second quarter. This is Sunday. The moon is in Leo, ruled by the sun. This is a blessed time also when those line up. As we move into Virgo, the energies of the moon are generally associated with crafts, leather working. There could be saddles, tack, also jewelry making. Very productive, earthy energy. Venus moves into Taurus, the sign it rules. So this is a wonderful Venus energy that's going to be carrying on. Also, Libra is associated with Venus. So this is a very beautiful energy this day. Although Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, it's still going to be a very beautiful energy of things happening. And then the very next day, Mars moves into Cancer, which is a water sign. The 16th has a very long void of course, 12 hours I have on my notes. Very late in the evening on the 16th, the moon will go into Scorpio, so there will be maybe a kind of a drifty kind of feeling on this Thursday. Might not seem easy to focus or to be as productive as usual. When the moon energy moves into the Scorpio, we're coming up to the full moon, and this is the culmination of the moon cycle for the month, when it draws up the water table, there's more humidity, it also grabs the soil, so it's a little harder to till the soil, better for putting in your last of your plantings that you want to do throughout the next week, which are the after the full moon is the best time to plant any plant that's already a little seedling rather than the seeds themselves, little tomato starts and whatnot after this, when there's a lot of water and the moisture coming up. Scorpio, brewing, also slaughtering and breeding of animals. Scorpio is often associated with having a garage sale and liquidating unnecessary things around the farm. With the full moon, this is also a time of finishing projects and culmination. As we move into Sagittarius energy, this is associated with horses and tack. Check your trailer, your travel. Travel is associated with Sagittarius. However, Sagittarius is generally traveling farther than your local area, so that might be like traveling for fun. So check, in your trailer, make sure your fire extinguisher is working and you have a first aid kit and all those things you need to take in your trailer with you, with your horses. The energy then moves into Capricorn here on the 21st. The sun also changes over into Gemini and Mercury changes over into Gemini. This is the sign that Mercury rules. So this is a very blessed area of the sky, and an energy that will tend to make our thoughts be more focused on communicating and possibly learning new terminology, new vocabulary, maybe networking with people that have different ideas and information that we might not have known about before. Good time to read books, learn about particular subjects that you're interested in. As we get into the Capricorn energy, generally is associated with money matters, getting your money matters organized. Check on that. Also, furniture, carpentry, kind of around the farm, like foundations, setting foundations of sheds and barns, setting posts, logging. There will be another long void, of course, before this Aquarius moon energy starts to come into full effect. 11-hour void, of course, could feel a little wishy-washy before the Aquarius kicks in here. Aquarius is good for unplanned activities, letting things develop instead of being so controlled. It is a fixed sign. However, often this is a good time to allow maybe a little more silliness and a little more adventure and a little more inventiveness to be fostered at that time. So this ancient ruler of Aquarius is Saturn. So Saturday, ruled by Saturn, there will be a window of what we call a blessed day, a very good harmonious time on Saturday. Coming into the 26th, the final quarter begins with Pisces. Pisces is generally washing and cleaning, things to do with canning and whatnot, but it's the beginning of the season. You might not have stuff that's ready, but if you do, this is the time to start picking and storing your stuff with the Pisces energy. So this moon is getting back down to the balsamic phase of the waning moon. The light is getting less and less and less. Start your pruning if you need to do that. There will be, on the 28th, there will be a 10-hour void of course. Just because of the lineup of the planets, these long void of courses aren't generally all that often, but the planets are in certain configuration where these void of courses are a little longer than usual. So the 28th is another 10-hour void of course before it moves into Aries. Mars rules Aries. This will be a blessed day once the Aries energy kicks in. Aries is like the beginning of the month, a time of mowing, getting your pest control situated. Also, you want to start now digging and preparing soils that you need to do to get ready for your next round of planting. Towards the end of the month, we have a very balsamic moon in Taurus. This is moon energy in Taurus on the day of Venus that rules Taurus. So this is one of those blessed Fridays. This will be a very nice Friday. Good energy for breeding, getting your next round of seeds going. And Taurus is typically associated with weaning animals in general parlance, you might say. So I want to thank you for joining me this month, and I look forward to bringing you another episode next month. If you like this sort of topic, please subscribe, and you'll get a little notification every time I post another video. And thanks. I'll see you next time.